Hi, I am Sanjay Patel. In this lecture, we are going to consider some more examples of rings. In the last two lectures, we have seen few definitions about ring and related concepts. And also, we have done three examples of rings. Now let us go further. Say the new type of set I am going to consider here is this. Let capital R, which is denoted by the symbol q root 2, is equal to this R I am taking as the set q root 2, and the meaning of q root 2 is a plus b root 2, set of all real numbers, or rather, yes, set of all real numbers of the form a plus b times root 2, where a and b are rational numbers. So consider this set, okay, and say define the two binary operations. Define plus as addition of real numbers, and dot, second binary operation, as multiplication of real numbers. Okay. Then prove that this set is a ring with respect to these two operations. Prove that q root 2 comma plus comma dot is a commutative ring, with unity. Okay. Also find the units of this ring. Okay. The next additional question I am writing here is, does it have zero divisors? Okay. So let us answer to this question. I will write the solution of this problem in detail. It is an important example of a ring. So numbers of the form a plus b root 2, where a and b are rational numbers, belongs to Q. So just understand that if a is equal to 2 by 3 and b is equal to say 4, then this element belongs to Q root 2. Okay, but the element of the type root 3 plus 1 into root 2, this does not belong to Q. This not belongs to Q root 2, because this part is not a rational number, it is an irrational number. So both the numbers a and b must be rational. This root 2 is fixed, and remember, there is nothing special about this root 2. You can put root 3, root 5, anything. Okay, then this kind of set is always a ring. So let us prove all the conditions one by one. The first condition is closure property, closure for plus. Okay, if I take two elements from q root 2, which are of the form a plus b root 2, and say c plus d root 2, this belongs to q root 2. Okay, for x and y belongs to q root 2, we have their sum x plus y, which is obviously a plus c plus b plus d times root 2. Here a and c are rational numbers, and b and d are also rational numbers. So a plus c and b plus d is also a rational number. I can call it say a0, and this as b0 belongs b0 times root 2, where a0 I am writing as a plus c and b0 is b plus d, and both belongs to q. since A, B, C, D all are rational numbers according to the definition. So what I have proved here is for every x and y belongs to the given set q root 2 implies x plus y also belongs to q root 2. So the closure property for addition is clear. The next, we prove the commutativity and associativity. Commutativity and associativity actually no need to prove, as this set q root 2 is a subset of R, and we know that the set of real numbers has the two properties, commutativity and associativity, for addition of real numbers, and this is finally actually is a real number. So commutativity means say x plus y is equal to y plus x for all x and y belongs to q root 2 is obvious, because q root 2 is a subset of the set of real numbers. Same way, associativity also holds. Associativity that is x plus y plus z is equal to x plus y plus z, and this is also true for all x, y, z belongs to q root 2. Again, same reason, because q root 2 is subset of R. Q root 2 is subset of the set of real numbers. The fourth condition is the identity element or the zero element of the set q root 2. So what can be the zero element? Say zero element. We have to find some element in the set q root 2 for which x plus that element is equal to x. So if I define say 0, this 0 is not the real number, it's just a symbol, and we define this as 0 plus 0 root 2, then this 0 belongs to q root 2, because 0 is a rational number, so both a and b are rationals here. So this belongs to q root 2. Not only that, for any element x is equal to a plus b root 2 belongs to q root 2, we have x plus 0. If you find this x plus 0, that is a plus b root 2 plus 0 plus 0 root 2 is equal to a plus 0 plus b plus 0 times root 2 according to the definition, that is nothing but a plus b root 2. So it is equal to x. So what we have proved is, for the above number 0, we have x plus 0 is equal to x, and since plus is commutative, I can write it is same as 0 plus x. So this is true for every x belongs to the given set R, which is equal to q root 2. So the zero element exists in q root 2. The next is the negative element, or you can say additive inverse. So negative element in q root 2. For any element, say x is equal to a plus b root 2 belongs to the given set R, which is q of root 2. Okay. If we take for any given element like x, if we define an element which I write minus x as minus a plus minus b times root 2 using the same numbers a and b. A and b are rational, so minus a and minus b is also rational. So this element minus x is also a member of the set Q root 2, that is R. Okay, and for this new element minus x, we have x plus minus x, that is a plus b root 2 plus minus a plus minus b root 2 is equal to 0 plus 0 root 2, that is nothing but 0. Okay, so for every x belongs to R, there exists minus x belongs to R such that x plus minus x is equal to 0 is proved, and the same as minus x plus x. So we have proved the 5 properties, the first 5 axioms for the ring. So it says that Q root 2 is an abelian group with respect to the operation of addition. Now let us take up the 6th condition, that is the operation for multiplication. It is the closure for multiplication. It is also very simple. For any two elements, x is equal to a plus b root 2 and y is equal to c plus d root 2, y is equal to c plus d root 2 belong to the given set R, which is Q root 2. We have x plus y, that is we have to check now the property of multiplication. So we are checking closure for multiplication. So x into y, that is the product of these two elements, a plus b root 2 into c plus d root 2. So multiplying this, we get AC, a into c, and if you multiply these two, I will get 2 times bd. These all numbers I am writing in one bracket, plus a into d root 2, so ad plus b into c root 2, so root 2 is common. So this multiplication you can write in the expanded form, and then rearranging the terms you will get this. And this is of the form, say, as you can say, p plus q root 2. Okay, where p is equal to this first bracket and q is equal to the second bracket. This I am calling p and this I am calling q. And this also belongs to the set q root 2, because a, b, c, d all are rational numbers. So AC and 2BD all are rationals. So here every bracket is a rational number. So P and Q are rationals. So therefore I can say for every x and y belongs to Q root 2 implies x into y also belongs to Q root 2. So we can say that Q root 2 is closed with respect to multiplication. Then the next property or axiom number 7 of the ring, and that is also very simple. It is associativity for multiplication. So it is associativity what is this? It is associativity for multiplication operation. And since the set Q root 2 is subset of the set of real numbers, we have this operation of multiplication also associative, that is x into y into z is equal to x dot y dot z. This is true for every x, y, z belongs to Q root 2. So associativity also holds. And again, by the same argument, I can say that this set also satisfies the distributive law. So distributive law distributive law also holds, because this set is subset of set of real numbers. So x dot y plus z is equal to x into y plus x into z is true, because ultimately all these numbers are real numbers only. So the multiplication of real numbers is distributive over addition. So the left distributive law as well as the right distributive law both are true. So we can write that this both conditions are true for every x, y, z belongs to root 2. So we have checked all the 8 properties or axioms for the definition of ring. So the final conclusion here is, thus the set Q root 2 with respect to addition and multiplication of real numbers is a ring. So definition of ring requires only these 8 axioms to be checked. Further, we want to see whether this ring is commutative, does it have unity, what kind of elements are units in this ring. So the first thing, again by the same arguments, as this q root 2 is subset of the set of real numbers, we have x into y is equal to y into x for all x and y belongs to the set q root 2, that is the given ring R. So therefore I can say q root 2 is a commutative ring. This is a commutative ring. And further, this ring also has unity element, and the unity element is this. The element of the form, say 1 is equal to 1 plus 0 times root 2. Note that this both 1 and 0 are rational numbers. So this element belongs to q root 2 and it is nothing but simply the real number 1. So therefore I can say that x into 1 is equal to x is equal to 1 into x is true for every x belongs to q root 2. So the ring q root 2 has the unity element, Okay. Now what is next is, does it have unit, or what are the units of this ring? Means what kind of elements or numbers in q root 2 has multiplicative inverse. For multiplicative inverse, we must take a non-zero element always. Let x is equal to a plus b root 2 belongs to the set or the ring q root 2. Okay. Now suppose we have y is equal to c plus d root 2 belongs to q root 2 such that x into y is equal to 1. That is, a plus b root 2 into c plus d root 2 is equal to 1. That implies ac plus 2bd, multiplying these two numbers, we get this thing, ad plus bc times root 2 is equal to 1, and this 1 you can write as 1 plus 0 root 2. Okay, so comparing both the sides, you will get ac plus 2bd is equal to 1 and ad plus bc is equal to 0. So we get this thing, and we have to solve this equation because we want to find what is this c plus d root 2 so that y, that is x into y, becomes 1. And that gives you the inverse for multiplication. So we have to solve these equations, okay, and find the values of c and d. Let me rewrite this. This I can write as a into c plus 2b into d is equal to 1. This term I want to write first. So b into c plus is there any mistake? Yes. It is not AB, it is A into D. It is here. So this is AD. So BC plus A into D equal to 0. To solve these equations, let us multiply this by, say, it is 2BD. So I multiply this by, I want to make these coefficients of D same. Here we have 2b and here we have a. So I should multiply this by a and this by 2b. Okay, rather minus 2b. So what I will get here is, say, a square c, okay, a square c plus 2ab into d is equal to a. And here I will get minus 2b square into c plus, again not plus, it is minus 2ab into d is equal to 0. So when you add these two, this will be cancelled, and what you will get is c into a square minus 2b equal to a. C into a square minus 2b equal to a. And we can divide here by this term to get the value of c, only if it is not 0. So this gives you c is equal to a upon a square minus 2b if a square minus 2b is not equal to 0. Okay. So we get the value of c. By the same argument, you can find, similarly, we can find the value of d by eliminating c here. What you will get is, I will write directly, see, let us multiply to eliminate c, we multiply this by b and this by what? Minus a. So we multiply this, let me change. We multiply the first equation by minus, say, plus b, and the second equation by minus a. Okay, so this will be cancelled, and what you will get here is 2b square and here minus a square, and that gives you d is equal to b upon 2b square minus 1 minute, yes, 2b square minus, what is the mistake I'm making? It is, if you multiply both the sides by a, this is both the sides by b, this is ab, c, and this is 2 times b square. Yes, this is 2b square. So 2b square and this we are multiplying by a, so minus a square. 2b square minus a square. But then what mistake I have made here? Let us check again. When you, yes, acha, this is, sorry, this is 2b square. It is not 2b only. I must write 2b square here. So let me change this. In that condition, what I am writing is not proper, just because of this small mistake here, that is 2b square. Instead of 2b square, I have written simply b. So this is possible if a square minus 2b square is say not equal to 0. Okay, so everywhere it must be this. And this I can write as, this element I can write as minus b upon a square minus 2b square. Again, this is possible only if a square minus 2b square is not equal to 0. So in short, what I have done here is I have found the value of C and D. Okay, I have found the value of C and D, or I have found this number y. And what are the values of C and D? It is given by this formulas. So thus the element y, which is C plus D times root D, we can write as y is equal to C is a upon a square minus 2b square, okay, plus minus b upon a square minus 2b square times root 2. Okay, this is well defined only if a square minus 2b square is not equal to 0. So this is an important condition here. So an element in q root 2 has multiplicative inverse, which is y, okay, only if this value is not 0. So I can write down that conclusion. Thus, for every x is equal to a plus b root 2 belongs to the given ring, which is q root 2, with a square minus 2b square is not equal to 0. A square minus 2b square is not equal to 0. There exists y defined above in q root 2 such that x into y is equal to 1, and similarly y into x is equal to 1. So all elements of this type is a unit. So units of the ring q root 2 are the numbers of the type x is equal to a plus b root 2, where a square minus 2b square is not equal to 0. So these are the numbers in the ring. What is a square minus 2b square? This is the necessary condition, is not equal to 0. Okay, so we have found all the units also. We know that in set of real numbers, we have x into y equal to 0, then either x is 0 or y is 0, or equivalently, we know for every real numbers which is for every two real numbers x and y which are not 0, their product is also not 0. So we have for x and y belong to the set of real numbers, remember, okay, for x and y, for every x and y belongs to R with x not equal to 0 and y not equal to 0, we always have x into y not equal to 0. This we are discussing because we want to say, check what are the zero divisors of this. So for every real number which are non-zero, product of two non-zero real numbers, it is always non-zero. That means here also it is true, and therefore the ring q root 2 has no zero divisors. Zero divisors means given a non-zero element, if you can find another non-zero element whose product is 0. But we know that if you take two non-zero elements, then their product can never be 0 in the set of real numbers, and therefore the same is true for the set q root 2, because q root 2 is a subset of the set of real numbers. So every element of q root 2 is also an element of R. So if R has no zero divisors, then its subset also does not have zero divisors. Okay, so final conclusion for this problem, which we have discussed in detail, is that the ring q root 2 comma plus comma dot is an infinite commutative ring with unity and has no zero divisors Okay, so this is about the very important example of a ring. Let us take the next one. What is the number of this ring? This is the fourth one. Now the next problem is number 5. Yes. So this is my fifth example. What I want to consider in this problem is a finite set. So let us take the set R as Z6. What is Z6? We have already understood. It is set of all residue classes modulo 6. It has 6 elements. Starting with 0, we have to write 6 classes. Class 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay. So these are the only elements of the set Z6. And we define the two operations plus is equal to plus 6 and dot is equal to dot 6. That is addition modulo 6 and multiplication modulo 6. You know the meaning here. A plus B, class A plus class B. Actually, we are taking A class A plus class B as class A plus 6 class B. So here we have to write R, where R is the remainder when A plus B is divided by 6. The remainder, let me write R is the remainder when A plus B is divided by 6. R is the remainder when A plus B is divided by 6. Same way, the second operation of multiplication of the ring, which is required in the definition, we are taking as multiplication modulo 6. Okay. So we are now going to consider a very important example for our study of ring theory. So class A dot class B. Here dot means our operation is dot 6 in this new example. And this means it is equal to R, where R is the remainder. R is the remainder when A dot B is divided by 6. So this is as it is, just this A plus B is replaced by A into B. Okay. With respect to these two operations, prove that Z6 comma plus 6 comma dot 6 is a commutative ring with unity and has 6 elements. So this is the first example of a ring which we are considering, which has finite number of elements. So it is a finite ring, example of a finite ring. This is the first example we are considering of finite ring. It has exactly 6 elements. And to check all the conditions, it is better to prepare a multiplication table, or you can say comparison table for these binary operations. For both the operations plus 6 and dot 6, we are going to construct a group table kind of comparison table. Okay, so let me write a table. Okay, so in the solution, what we are going to do is we'll take two tables. One is for addition and other is for multiplication. Here plus is equal to plus 6. I must write all the elements here. So this is the operation plus 6, and here I will write, say, class 0, then class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, and class 5. Okay, and same way we write here in the title column class 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so this way you can prepare this table for plus, and same way we can prepare the table for minus. So let me write here only. Just a minute. Okay, so we have these two tables. Let me change this, and I'm writing here dot 6. So dot is the multiplication module 6. So we have to prepare these two type of say comparison tables, or you can say multiplication table, as you have done in group theory. See how to write the values, For example, if you take this class 2 and say class 4, then class 2 plus class 4, that value is to be written here. Okay. What is class 2 plus 6 class 4? So if we have to add these two, 2 plus 4, that is 6, but 6 is same as 0. So we always have to write the value of this modulo the given number, that is 6 here. So modulo 6. Suppose if I take class 3 and class 5, and if I want to add this with respect to addition modulo 6, then class 3 plus 6 class 5 is equal to 3 plus 5, that is 8. But we should not write 8, we should write the remainder when 8 is divided by 6, that is 2. So if you follow this rule and fill up this table, what you will get is this. I will not write the bracket here just for convenience. 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 1 is 1, 0 plus 2 is 2, 3, 4, 5. Same way 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Then 1 plus 1, 2, 1 plus 2, 3, 1 plus 3, 4, 4 modulo 6 is 4, 1 plus 4, 5, and 1 plus 5, 6, but 6 is 0. Always we are writing the remainder when the result is divided by 6. Then 2 plus 1 is 3, 2 plus 2, 4, 2 plus 3, 5, and 6 means 0. 2 plus 5 in this place, 2 plus 5 is 7, and 7 is congruent to 1 modulo 6. So it should be 1. You can understand the pattern for addition is very simple. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 1. So all numbers are shifting towards this direction. So I can write without even thinking 3, 4, 5, 0, 1 and 2. Then 4, 5, 6, 6 means 0. Then 1, 2 and 3. Then 5, 6 means 0, 1, 2 and 3 and 4. So finished. So this is the combination table for the operation of addition modulo 6. Same way we follow the rule here, but now if you take two elements, if you take say 3 and 5 and apply the operation of multiplication modulo 6, 3 5s are 15, we know, but 15 is congruent to say 3 modulo 6 because 6 is 12 and remainder is 3. So we must write 3 into 5 as 15. 3 we take from this column and 5, this 5 we take from this row. So 3 into 5 is somewhere here, and that I should write as value 3. Let us write the values of all other elements. Multiplying with 0, it results in 0. So the first row and first column is 0. That I can fill up without thinking. 0, 0, 0, 0 and 0. Okay, this is not properly written. Let me 0 and 0. When you multiply any element with 1, it remains the same. So 1 into 1, 1, 1 into 2, 2, 3. So we will get a copy of the title row here. Same way, if you multiply any of this element with 1, again you will get the same element. So copy of this title column. So 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now what remains is the other elements. 2 2s are 4. Then 2 3s are 6 means 0. 2 4s are 8. 8 means 2. 2 5s are 10 means 4. So like that. And 3 into 2 6 is 1. Sorry. 0. 3 into 3 9 and 9 is equal to 3. 3 4s are 12. 12 is equal to 0 again. 4 into 2 8 is 2. 4 3s are 12 means 0. 4 4s are 16. 16 means what? 16 congruent to 6. 6 2s are 12. So 4. 6 5s are 30 and 30 congruent to 6. So it is 6 4s are 24. So 0. Because 30 is divisible by 6. Okay, yes. 5 is a 10 and 10 means 4. 5 3 is 15. 15 means 3. 5 4s are 20. 20 means 2. 5 5s are 25 and 25 is 1. Okay. So this way we can prepare the multiplication table for both of these operations. And from this operation you can observe everything. From your group theory knowledge, we can apply the same logic here. See, for the closure property, what you should check is there is no strange element as a result or as the answer, or you can say these pink numbers should not go outside of your set. The set is Z6. The given set is Z6. And what does Z6 contains? Z6 contains class 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there is no other strange number here. So all numbers are there. So it is closed. Okay. And we assume that the operation of addition modulo 6 or multiplication modulo 6 or in general addition modulo n or multiplication modulo n, they are always commutative and associative. And no need to prove this. It is commutative and associative. Okay. Commutativity you can check from the group table. You know how? Just keeping a mirror over diagonal, you must see that you should get a reflection of the upper triangular as a lower triangular. So reflection in the principal diagonal must be same, or you can say its transpose is the same. So therefore this and this both operations are commutative binary operations. So in general, addition modulo n and multiplication modulo n both are commutative binary operations, and we are assuming that it is associative. No need to prove that. Okay. Now we are focusing on the special things like what is the zero of this ring? What is the zero element of this ring? By zero, you know, it is nothing but the identity element for addition. From the group table, if you want to see what is an identity element, what you should do is find an element. Say for example, if I want to check that the 3 is identity or not. So what I should check is, if you keep your finger over this 3, then below 3 here you must get the same copy of this title column. But it is not so. We are not getting 0 to 0, 1 to 1. So this is not an identity element. But instead of 3, if you choose say the number 0, if you choose the number 0 here, then just below this 0, you will get the copy of this title column. Same way, if you go say row wise, if you keep your finger on this, then you will get here just exactly opposite to this element 0, you will get all the numbers, the copy of this title row 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that makes this number 0, class 0, as a 0 element. So from the above table, I can say that class A plus 6 class 0 is equal to class A. For every class A, every element of this type belongs to Z6. So the 0 element here is nothing but the equivalence class 0 or the residue class 0. So this is 0 of the ring. Remember, it is a very important element. 0 of the ring. What about the unity element? Unity element, again you have to check identity element for multiplication. So if I take, say, for example, 3 or 4, I must get a copy of this title column. If I take 4 over here, I must get a copy of the title row here, but it is not so. See, 0 goes to 0 is fine, but 1 does not go to 1. 1 goes to 4. So that is not the identity element. So this is not an identity element. So let us consider the element class 1. Just opposite to this class 1, all the numbers, what is written here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it is the exactly copy of this title row. Same way, if you take the number say the number class 1 here, then you will get a copy of this title column 0 to 0, 1 to 1. So therefore I can say 1 can be taken as an identity element for multiplication. That means what I have here is for the element class 1, we have class A dot 6 class 1 is equal to class A. For every element class A belong to Z6. So therefore this element class 1 is the unity of the ring Z6. That is 1 is equal to class 1. Remember, this is true for the ring Z6, and not only for Z6, it is true for any ring of the form Zn. Okay, so what I have discussed, that from these group tables, it follows that the set Z6 satisfies all the conditions of a ring. So Z6 comma plus 6 comma dot 6 is a ring. Further, we have also observed that multiplication is a commutative operation here. Say class 2 into class 3 is equal to class 3 into class 2. So 2 into 3 is 0, and 3 into 2, that also is 0. So if you take any two elements, or you can say the reflection in the principal diagonal of this multiplication table is same, so the operation of multiplication is commutative. So the very important conclusion we are going to state here is, thus the set Z6 comma plus 6 comma dot 6 plus 6 comma dot 6 is a commutative ring, with unity element, say 1 is equal to class 1. Okay, that is the first observation. Also, it is a finite ring. It has 6 elements. It has exactly 6 elements. Another important thing here, we want to understand that what are the units of this ring. So my next question is, find the units. What are the units of the ring Z6? So for the units, what you have to do is, you take any element, non-zero element. So let class A belong to Z6, and what you have to answer is this question, that class A multiplication modulo 6, and then fill in this blank. What means with what you should multiply this class A, so that you will get the answer as class 1, or the resultant element must be class 1, which is nothing but the unity element. Okay, unity, because the identity element for multiplication is unity. Okay, so we take one by one. We always take a non-zero element here. So if I take A is equal to 1, then its inverse, or let me write directly, not like this. First I will explain for one particular, say, element. Suppose if I take, say, this element class, if I take A is equal to, say, 3, then can I have something in place of this blank so that class 3 dot 6 something is equal to class 1. So what you do is you keep all numbers from the ring Z6 one by one. I cannot put 0 here. I cannot put 0. I cannot put 1. 3 into 1 is 3. It is not 1. 3 into 2. If I put class 2, I have to fill this blank and put 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and check. So 3 into 2 is 6. 6 is 0. Then if I put 3 here. So 3 3s are 9. And 9 means what? 9 means 3 again. Because if you put 3 3s are 9 and 9 is congruent to 3 modulo 6. Same way, if I put 4, 3 4s are 12, but 12 is 0. So that gives us 0. And if I put 5, finally, 3 5s are 15. And 15 is congruent to 3 modulo 6. So for no element here, when you substitute, you are getting answer 1. Okay. So that does not exist. There does not exist any element of the form class B belongs to Z6 such that class 3 dot 6 class B is equal to class 1. That means the element class 3 is not a unit. Is not a unit element. Remember, in simple language, unit means an element whose multiplicative inverse exists. So given any element in any ring, what you have to check is with what should I multiply this given element to get the identity or unity of the ring. Okay. So just I have taken an example to explain that how to think about different elements over here. So I am taking class A belong to Z6 and just simply write say what are the units or which elements has multiplicative inverse. 0 has no inverse. Class 1, yes, 1 is a unit. In any ring, the unity element is always the multiplicative inverse of itself because 1 into 1 is always 1. So 1 inverse is 1. Okay. Then class 2, if I take 2 inverse. 2 inverse means is 2 a unit? Can I multiply 2 if I keep A is equal to 2 here? Can we get something here so that 2 into something is equal to 1? Let us think orally. 2 1s are 2, no. 2 2s are 4, no. 2 3s are 6, 0, no. 2 4s are 8, 8 is equal to 2, no. Okay. 2 5s are 10, 10 is equal to 4, modulo 6. So there is no element here, so that class 2 into that element is equal to 1. So 2 has no inverse. 2 has no inverse. We already have proved that 3 has no inverse. Okay. So 3 is not a unit. 2 is not a unit. The element class 4 is also not a unit. Its inverse does not exist. You can check by putting 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that there is no element for which this multiplication is 1. But if you take class 5, now that is interesting. If I take class 5, then class 5 is a unit because class 5 dot 6 something will be 1. What is that element here? Can you find? Put 1 by 1. Say 5 into 1, 5, not equal to 1. 5 into 2, 10. 10 is equal to what? It is 4 modulo 6. So 10 is means 5 into 2 is also not fine. 5 into 3, 15. 15 is equal to say 3. It is also not proper. 5 4s are 20. 20 is equal to 2. It is also not proper. But 5 5s are 25. Yes. So if I keep 5 here itself, 5 5s are 25 and 25 is equal to 1. So this is satisfied. So I can say phi inverse is equal to class 5. So in this ring, only these two elements, namely the unity element, this unity element and the element class 5 has multiplicative inverse, or in other words, the elements class 1 and class 5 are the only units, are the only units in the ring Z6 plus 6 dot 6. Okay. So that is very, very important thing. See, 2, 4 and 3, they have no multiplicative inverse, so they are not units. And there is a close relation between this 1, 5 and the number 6. Why? While other numbers which are not units, the numbers which are not units, if I list, are class 0. Let me not write 0 because we are not taking 0. Let me take 2, 3 and 4, the remaining elements other than 0. 2, 3 and 4, these three elements are not units. So what is the relation between the number 6 and these numbers which are units and these numbers which are not units? If you observe very carefully, then there is nothing common between 1 and 6. There is nothing common between 5 and 6. In other words, GCD of say 5 and 6 is 1, and the greatest common divisor of say 1 and 6 is also 1. In other words, these elements class 1 and class 5 are relatively prime to 6, while these are not relatively prime. There is a common factor 2 between 2 and 6. There is a common factor 3 between 3 and 6. And there is a common factor 2 between 6 and 4. So GCD of 2, 3, 4 with 6 is not equal to 1. So this suggests one interesting result, that an element in the ring Z6 is a unit if and only if it is relatively prime to the number 6. And this can be generalized, and that we will be discussing as an interesting problem later on. Still, if you are more curious, you can try yourself, if you know some number theory, to solve this problem. Okay. Note that an element class A belongs to Zn in general form, I am writing in a general form, is a unit element, is a unit if and only if GCD of say A and N is equal to 1. GCD means greatest common divisor of the number A and the number N is 1. And it is not a unit if and only the GCD is not 1. So they are relative prime. That is, A and N are relatively prime. Okay, so in any set of the type Zn, this result is true. Okay, that is my first remark. And another remark I want to show you is this, the set Zn. The set Zn means which contains the numbers or the residue classes class 0, 1, 2, 3 up to n minus 1. This set is a commutative ring, with unity with respect to the operation of plus n and dot n. Okay, that is this set is a ring Zn comma plus n comma dot n. So this is very, very important example of a ring throughout our ring theory lecture series. Okay, so this can be proved mathematically in a general form, but that is not of our interest right now. So you can try on your own using some basic results of number theory and definition of classes, equivalence classes and their properties. This can be done. And moreover, we can note that ring Zn has exactly n elements. See, starting from 0 up to n minus 1, there are exactly n elements. Okay, so Zn comma plus n comma dot n is an example of a finite ring having n elements, which is commutative and also has the unity, which is the class 1. Okay, so now if someone asks you, give an example of a ring having say 11 elements, you can immediately say Z11 comma plus 11 comma dot 11, means the ring Z11 with respect to addition modulo 11 and multiplication modulo 11. Okay, so you have seen many examples, but still some few more examples are left that I will be discussing in our next lecture. So we have seen some examples of finite ring and infinite ring, and in the next video I am going to discuss some 3-4 more examples of rings which are useful towards our collection of rings. So till then, goodbye. Thank you.